Is your jade real or fake? My name is Sheila Satin and I'm one of the owners here at Satin Crystals, and today we are going to discuss real versus fake versus faux jades, if they're treated or untreated, glass, resin, plastic, different stones pretending to be jade, and if they're treated or untreated. Here I am holding two different stones that claim to be jade. One of them is real and one of them is fake. So let's learn about the difference. What is jade? So the only real jades out there are either nephrite jade or jadeite jade. Anything else is a faux jade, and we will discuss those soon. If you want to learn more about jade, its metaphysical properties, its mineral facts, make sure to watch our Jade Meanings video and then head over to Satin Crystals, where we have a whole in-depth article about jade. What grade of jade do you have? So there's nephrite and jadeite jades. Nephrite does not have a universal grading system. It is more common. It is not as well known for treatments because jadeite is the one where people are looking for it more in the jewelry form. So nephrite, you will find some companies that do grade their nephrite according to their own standards, but there's no universal standard for nephrite. Jadeite, on the other hand, does have a grading system. So you can have it graded from A, B, or C. A grade jadeite means that it is all natural, it was not treated in any way, it's naturally colored, it will be long lasting, stable, and durable. It may be waxed though. So your A jade may be waxed to bring out the luster on the surface, but this is a common practice. It is accepted in the industry and it does not devalue your A jade grade. Then B jade is one that has been acid treated or bleached to take out the impurities, the stains that people think are devaluing their stone. And then it is impregnated with wax and resin to make it a little bit more stable. However, in the end, it does break down the structure of the jade and it does become more brittle in the end. So this can change colors, it can become weaker as time goes on. So that is your B grade jade. Then you have C jade, and C jade includes all of the treatments of B jade, so it is bleached and acid treated, impregnated with resins, but it is also dyed. So as you can see, this bright green piece, this is a dyed piece of jade. So the C grade jade is the lowest grade of jade you can have. It is brittle, the color will probably not be long lasting, and that is the price you pay. So it is much cheaper than your other grades. Now, the grading system doesn't work very well when you're testing for jade because B jade and C jade are still natural. They have just been treated. But when you're testing for it, they will still test as real jade. So you'll need more advanced gemological testing and experiments to tell what kind of treatment is had. In this case, you will have to send it into a laboratory. That's the only way to know what kind of treatment it is. As if it's not obvious, like this green one here, that it is dyed, then you might not be able to tell, and the vendor might be selling you A jade when it is actually C jade. What is faux jade? So moving along, after your treated real jades, you have your faux jades. So we're not talking about fake jades. Fake jades are glass or resin or plastic or non-crystal materials that are being passed off as jade. Sometimes they do have some crushed minerals in the fake jade, but for the most part, they are not crystals. Faux jade is an actual gemstone, but it is being passed off as jade. Here I have two stones that are serpentine, but this egg here is called Afghan jade. So if you're unaware, you might think this is an actual jade egg from Afghanistan. But In reality, it is serpentine. So it looks like jade with this creamy green appearance, but it scratches very easily. And serpentine is a stone that is much softer than jade, so you can easily scratch the surface. Here is another serpentine, and it does look like nephrite jade from Canada with a dark green tone. However, this also scratches very easily. It is a serpentine. So both of these are serpentine stones being passed off as jade in the market by vendors who want to make a little bit more money, as jade brings in more money than serpentine. I'll show you two more examples. So we had the wand from the beginning, the facial roller. This is also serpentine, and it is also called new jade. So new jade is a serpentine stone that they like to pass off as jade. And you will find it common in these facial rollers. Now here is something that they sold my friend as a red jade. Now, I asked her, and she was very adamant that this was a natural jade. The vendor told her that it was all natural red jade, and I was very skeptical, as red jade never comes in this bright red color. So in the end, she did reveal that the vendor said it was mountain jade. Now, mountain jade is actually another stone called dolomite. And this one is a dolomite, obviously dyed a bright red and now trying to be passed off as red jade. So both of these are faux jades. They are different stones. So if you're looking for that stone's property, that is perfectly fine. You just want to know that in advance when you're buying it. And we do have a whole list of trade names, jades that are not actually nephrite or jadeite, that you can find on our Satin Crystals Jade Meanings article. Can you use fake jade for healing? You can definitely use your faux jades for healing if you know what stone they are, because you want to program them accordingly. This is a beautiful piece of serpentine. It never had to be called Afghan jade. That is just for marketing, just for attracting buyers. But this piece of solid serpentine is excellent for healing in its own right. Serpentine has many great crystal healing benefits on its own. So just make sure that you know exactly what you are buying so that you can program your stones for what you are looking to heal. How do you tell if you have real or fake jade? So the only certain way to know if your piece is real jadeite or nephrite is to send it into a certified gemological laboratory where they can conduct all the tests necessary and give you a report. The second best thing is to have a reputable seller, somebody that you trust, somebody who knows what they are talking about, who knows what they are selling you. If you have neither of these, there are some home tests which you can perform, which I'm about to show you. However, none of them are conclusive in themselves. They will just help you to narrow down the piece that you have. So first of all, real jade, real untreated jade, is between a 6 and a 7 on the Mohs scale of hardness. That means anything softer than 6 cannot scratch your stone. Anything harder than a 7 will be able to scratch your stone. So here I have a steel knife, which is around a 5.5 or so on the Mohs scale of hardness. It should not be able to scratch your piece if it is real jade. So you can just run the blade over the stone. You can try to carve into it, but you won't be able to carve into this piece because it's real jade. If this was a diamond bit, diamonds are a 10 on the scale of hardness, it would be able to scratch and carve your piece. And if I was scratching into serpentine stone, this would be able to scratch serpentine because it is softer than the knife. Also, the other way around, if you do have a serpentine, as we showed you before, it will not be able to scratch the surface of your jade, but the jade will scratch this serpentine. And I already have a lot of scratches on this facial roller, just for example wise. So that's number one. Real jade will have inclusions, but it will not have air bubbles. So this test is to determine if you have a piece of glass or not. Glass will have air bubbles within it. Not all the time, but sometimes you will see little bubbles of air that have been trapped in the glass when it was forming. Sometimes you can see it with your naked eye. Sometimes you'll need a jeweler's loupe, a little magnifier, to look into the stone and see if you can see any air bubbles. Now, as I said, jade will have natural inclusions, but not the bubbles. Real jade is cold to the touch. So if you pick it up, this jade is very cold in the hand, it's like a little icy feeling. If you warm it up for a while, place it back down and pick it up again, it is going to be cold rapidly again. However, this test is not very good because it does not exclude most other stones. Most gemstones are cold to the touch when you do touch it. And some vendors will show you a trick where they wrap a piece of hair around the jade stone and take a lighter to it, and the hair will not burn. And they say because the jade is so cold, it won't burn. However, other gemstones, if you wrap it around as well, I tried this myself just to make sure. I wrapped it around my jade, the hair did not burn. I wrapped it around my obsidian, the hair did not burn. I wrapped it around my quartz, the hair did not burn. So it's not a very good test, but a good indication that maybe it's not plastic is if the jade feels like a cold natural stone. Real jade has a high-pitched, reverberating, sing-song bell kind of tone. Now this is another little problematic test, but you will see it all over the internet, and most people are using bangles, the jade bangles, to show you this test. I don't have a jade bangle here at the moment, but what they do is they wrap a string around their jade bangle, and then they use a piece of jade that they know is real. They strike the jade bangle and it has a nice clear sing-song kind of tone to it, whereas another fake version might not have that tone. However, again, quartz also will have this nice ringing tone if it's in the right shape. So this is not exactly the best test. You might be able to get away with it if you do have a real jade bangle and you can hear that nice crisp reverberating tone. But jade in itself is known to have a high-pitched tone. Jade has a heavier density than other stones. So if you can feel the weight in your jade, you might be able to compare to another piece that is about the same size but isn't as heavy as that stone. Now this, obviously you need to know the densities of each stone. Here I have two different jade bracelets. This one is treated, so we know that it has been bleached and dyed, and some of the material has been bleached out of it, so it does feel much lighter than the natural whitish greenish jade that I have in this hand. So that is one way to tell. Some vendors say to toss it in the air and see if you can feel the heft when you catch it. But of course, this is all very subjective. You would have to have a lot of experience with weights of stones. Real jade has a long-lasting, steadfast color, so it won't be fading in the sunlight, but whereas dyed jade will probably fade over time. Now this test, you can't see the results immediately, obviously. This would have to be maybe even year-long tests to see if your stone does fade or lose color. But real jade will not lose its color. Real jade will be priced accordingly. So real jade, untreated, is much more pricey than fake jades or faux jades. So you want to compare the pricing of the jade pieces that you find, especially if you're online. Real jade, you will want to look at the clarity, the color, the cut of it, how much has been used for your piece. And if you see something really, really bright and really rich in color, but the price is really low, that is a good indication that this is not going to be a real jade. Real jades of that quality are going to go for hundreds, maybe thousands, maybe millions of dollars in auction. They're going to be certified and they're not going to be sold for pennies online. So here we have a little real jadeite elephant. You shouldn't find him for a few dollars. He's going to be much more valuable considering all the material it took to carve the stone and the nice green color here. So look at your price before determining what you are actually getting. Does your jade come with a COA or a certificate of authenticity? So at Satin Crystals, just like our Moldavite, we do not have COAs to give out because they don't have much value unless they are coming from a certified gemological laboratory, which you send in a sample or your whole piece for them to do the testing. Now, certificates don't have much value these days, as when you look online to buy real jade, most of the titles say 100% genuine, real, certified jade. They even have some pictures of their certificates, but most of those certificates are fake. I have a few links on our Jade Real versus Fake article that'll show you exactly all these examples of fake jade that are claiming to be real on Etsy, on eBay, on Amazon, all over the place. So you have to be very careful. So as I said before, make sure you have a reputable seller. You know what you are looking for when you're looking for your jade. Look at the price range as well. So that concludes our real versus fake jade test. Thank you for watching today. If you have additional questions, feel free to comment below or contact us on Satin Crystals. While you're at Satin Crystals, make sure to join the Satin Crystals VIP Club, as we do send out crystal healing information every single week. Please do like and subscribe to our channel so we can continue bringing you crystals and fake versus real videos throughout the year. As always, thank you for your positive energy at Satin Crystals, and thank you for spreading your light into our world.